Welcome, and we kick off the blog this week with some fantastic news about young Sheridan Gallagher. Sheridan, as we know, is the daughter of Felicity and the daughter of our great past friend Damien. Sister to Josh, who is doing great things in harness racing, and young Mackenzie, who's in the mini trot ranks when they come back. But what's special about Sheridan is that she has been accepted on a sports scholarship to the William Carey University in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, USA. As some of you may know, and if you don't, young Sheridan is a junior Matilda, a very talented soccer player in her own right, but she's going there on a sports scholarship which will open the world to her. Many people have been very strong friends of the family in recent times and in past times as well, but a special reach out today to Margaret and Kerry Ann. That's Margaret Morris and Kerry Ann Morris, Robert Morris and Peter Morris. And also really special to Colin Cheryl McDowell, who have given Sheridan great opportunities thus far. On behalf of the harness racing fraternity, we wish all the best to young Sheridan as she goes on this great adventure to the United States of America. She will be back sometime, but I think between then we will be seeing her playing on the national stage, international stage, in that great game of soccer. Moving on from Sheridan, highlights of this week once again were many. As we go through them, we'll play a couple of these races. We can't play them all, but keep up the good work, you people out there who are competing so admirably in harness racing. We started Wednesday last week at Bathurst when Amy Rees scored a treble. Amy's doing great things. Doubles to Wendy and Jason Turnbull as well as Peter Trevor Jones at that same meeting. Moving to Penrith on Thursday night, there was a double for Craig Cross and Leonard Kane, whilst we went down to Wagga on Friday. Doubles to Paul and Jared Calderfeld, as well as Ellen Bartley and Blake Jones. But talking about young stars, and we talked about a young star earlier in Sheridan Gallagher, young Paige Bevan, a young girl in our sport, is certainly making every post a winner in recent weeks. Tabcorp Park Menangle, it was great to see that the regional horses could come back in, and congratulations to Steve Maguire with major role and the other trainers that came into Menangle for that night. Steve and major role were the first winner since the COVID-19 pandemic has broken out and regionalisation's taken place. First winner back at Tabcorp Park Menangle from out of the metropolitan area. Dubbo on Sunday, and it was great to see Dubbo back. The locals have been crying out for this for such a long time, and to really prove their point, Top Hut Johnny was the winner of the first race, trained by a local trainer in Madison Reynolds, and it was also Madison's first win as a trainer. But the horse to watch on the afternoon was Bid for Stardom, trained by Greg Pay. Now, this horse is going very well. As we know, Greg's son Dean is the coach of the Bulldogs, and maybe there could be a swap over there, but we hope the horse doesn't lose form. That's only a pun. I wish the Canterbury Bulldogs all the best. Tamworth on Sunday, doubles to Clayton Harmey and Blake Hughes, as well as Les Elks and the driver Anthony Varga. Newcastle on Monday, and there were a treble to Roy Roots and Tom Ison, and Clayton Harmey and Blake Hughes are closing in slowly, I think now for Clayton on the century of winners this season. Menangle on Tuesday, a double to Harry Martin, a treble to David Morris, but most importantly, the Mates for Harness colours got up in 4 races, young David being one of our mates in harness and our ambassadors, but he was joined by his wife Steph Lippiott, who also scored a winner. On Tuesday at Young, and it was great to see Young coming back on to the circuit, we had Barkway Dulcie, a 10-year-old mare having only her 6th start for breeder, owner, trainer and driver Garth Hoy. His wife Robin shares in that ownership, but well done. Perseverance does pay off. As I said, 10-year-old mare having a 6th start, winning her maiden race. As the COVID-19 pandemic moves on and we see easings of the restrictions all over New South Wales, it's great to announce that this weekend, back on track will be patrons at both Newcastle and Wagga. The restrictions are being eased. We are working with government. We want more people back on course. We want people out in front of the grandstands, not only just inside and dining. So, as I say, our COVID-19 management group meets every week, at least once, and we keep moving forward, talking to government, making things come along that really will bring people back to the track and make it easier for trainers and drivers, participants and owners to enjoy this great sport of harness racing. However, one restriction that the government are not relaxing, and that is the social distancing and the hygiene. So I encourage all participants, all industry stakeholders, continue that not only for harness racing, but continue that for the sake of the entire community, because we need to move out of COVID-19 and we need to move back to some sort of normality going forward in just general life. So keep an eye on everything we're doing what we can, and we're moving as quickly as we can, but as always, we're covered by government guidelines. And COVID-19 has caused some havoc out there, we certainly know that, and whilst it's not havoc, it's because of how we changed things that Stuart Maxwell, that legendary race caller from Young and the Riverina, has decided to hang up the binoculars and call it a day. Stuart was a trainer, driver, and now commentator, club official. There's nothing that Stuart wouldn't do to help harness racing, most of it on a voluntary basis. So thank you for all your service, Stuart, on behalf of the industry, on behalf, in particular, I suppose, the people around Young. Your service has been admirable, and we thank you very much. Stuart, now you can have some retirement with your loving wife, Dawn, and we thank you, and the rest of the family, of course. We thank you for all your contribution over 50 years in the harness racing industry. I've got a little tip for you, though, I think, Stuart. You will still be hanging around the Young track, you still will be volunteering, and you still will be an absolute contributor to the harness racing industry. Just watch this last call from Stuart. This race meant something very special to him. It's a heat of the Nick Dewar Memorial last year, 2019. Nick was very close to Stuart because Stuart was a mentor of young people across the sport. So thank you very much. Just taking this call of Stuart Maxwell, the last time that you will hear him on a race course until, of course, he comes back.
28 Black has put its head in front. 28 Black the outside. Black Derby 2 fighting back gamely on the inside. But it's 28 Black will get the money. It'll beat Black Derby. Third rows upon her. Behind them Hunza Valley, and then Baby It's Gold, fastest girl in town. Sword and Shield was there with them. And they were followed in by Chibar Newey, and Beautiful Vengeance was last in.
To close the blog this week, I'd like to thank all the people who put a submission in on the reviews that Harness Racing New South Wales has been carrying out over the last month and a half. As I say, we can't move forward without seeking the opinions and knowing the opinions of participants, and the best way to do it is by submission and in writing, so we can refer back to it and go forward. The reviews that closed were the Breeders' Challenge review, and I thank those people who put in a submission there, and also the Category A and B prize money and the regional boundaries, which is now closed. But I suppose over the next couple of days, if there's anybody that wants to put something in there, certainly do. But I'd like stakeholders to be assured that the board has made a promise to the industry that when it is evident that wagering turnover across all operators, and in particular TAB, that the base prize money will be addressed. The fact that races are being conducted for $4,000 is not acceptable and is most unfortunate, but this will be addressed. Harness Racing New South Wales will be issuing a statement to this effect in the near future. And reverting to the reviews, they will both be on the agenda of the board meeting next week, Thursday, 25th of June, at which decisions will come out of that meeting. Be tuned, the next blog will be released Friday, the 26th of June, and at that stage, we'll have some announcements for the industry that I hope are more than palatable. Thank you. Tune in next week, as I say, and have a great week of racing.